Well, Roman will probably be fairly happy to see the arrival of Ezri Konsa at the Emirates. So we've been having a look at what it will mean to Aston Villa with him leaving. So now let's get the Arsenal side of things and what it means to them for him to be joining. So, Paul, is he being brought in to solve an injury problem, or do Arsenal see him as good enough to be competing long-term with William Saliba and Gabriel?
I've got two answers to that, really. I think short-term, he's brought in to take Saliba's place where he's been injured and he's had an operation. He's going to be a couple more months. But long-term, I think Arsenal and ARTETA see him as part of the plans and a big influence in that dressing room. I think he's good enough to play. We've seen that he is good enough to play and at the top level that the champions are. I think for short term, it was Saliba's out. We need to bring someone in, and Konsa was probably the one they put their trust in.
Bridget, do you think he's a good fit for Arsenal's style?
Yes, because I like what Mikel Arteta's done over the last few years in terms of his defensive recruitment. Can my defender play centre-half? Can he play left-back? Can he play right-back? Can he play centre-half? And that is going to bode so well in a brutal fixture list of a season. And you see it with Hincapié and you've seen it, with Ben White on the other side, Mascara. So I can totally see why he's gone down this road and it's worked for him.
Paul, one of the areas that they will want him to cover is right-back. Can you see him playing there and that working well?
Yeah, definitely. He's played there a lot for Aston Villa. He's played there for England. And no disrespect to people like Villa, he's going to be playing with better players. So I think he could just slip in there at right back, right centre back, wherever Arteta needs him to play. I think he's good enough to go and play there.
Bridget, you mentioned the schedule for Arsenal and just how much football they're going to be playing. So they're going to need a big squad to be competing again on all levels and to simply get through their fixture list. Are they ready?
Yeah, I think they are. I mean, out of most clubs, someone had a pop at me on social media because I said they were the most ready club in the Premier League, and they said to me that Saliba's out and a few others are out, but I still think they're going to be all right. You saw their performance on Sunday against Man City. Let's have a look at their squad depth. Just like that, eh? Do you like that, Paul?
Like magic.
Yeah.
We're going to send you back over there.
No, do I have to? No, I can do this sitting down. Yeah.
Have a rest.
But look, just look at this depth here. Look, this is our rule here. Unless it's done, the asterisks remain. So we've got Konsa there, can play right or centre half. Julian Timber, Ben White can do the same. Mascara's been brilliant. You've got Gabriel there, Calafiori and Hincapié's been brilliant. So they look very well stocked at the back. The midfield, goodness me. Where do you start? Bruno Guimaraes and Declan Rice are a formidable pairing, aren't they, Conch? And then, for me, they talk about wanting one more left-sided forward, but for you, are they clearly the team to beat next season?
Yeah, because you look at their depth, is phenomenal, like you say. But I just think the consistency of the players, the manager, it's been 5 or 6 years. They've been building, and the team and the players have been with that manager for 5 years now, most of them. So the consistency throughout, I think they're ready and they're going to be the ones to beat.
Now, throughout the window, Myles Lewis-Skelly, as we've been saying, has been linked with a move away. Today, Mikel Arteta said that is absolutely not happening.
The players that have been raised in our system and they feel genuinely that love and that connection with the club brings something else. There's no question about that. And we need to look after them in a really special way because they bring value that is very difficult to find. That's why, when we can, we want to protect those assets as much as possible, develop them and make them extremely important for the club.
Protecting his asset, he says, James. Is this a little bit of a shift in position on Myles Lewis-Skelly?
It feels that way because this story about potential interest from the likes of Chelsea and Manchester United emerged about 7 or 8 days ago. And Mikel Arteta has spoken to the media on 3 or 4 occasions since then. He spoke after the pre-season match last week, their final pre-season match. He spoke ahead of the Community Shield, spoke after the Community Shield and just said he loves the player but didn't offer any assurances at all. Whereas today it seemed quite pointed, the fact he made it that clear how much he wanted the player to stay. Now, I think his performance in the Community Shield reiterated what everybody knows about him already. his passion for the jersey, the fact he can play in so many different positions, the fact he's so versatile as well, the fact he's got so much quality on the ball and without the ball. But I wonder when that story circulated last week, Arsenal as a club would have seen some of the fan reaction. I'm not saying they'd have reacted based on that, but I think the feeling was so strong from Arsenal fans about wanting to keep an academy graduate, not only an academy graduate, but a brilliant player as well, who's still very, very young, still has a lot to develop, a lot he can go to any level. He started in the Champions League final for Arsenal as well. He clearly is a player they value, but I wonder if the fan sentiment really has made Arsenal double down on that stance, and he's not going anywhere, it seems.
On the flip side of that, you don't expect Mikel Arteta to say, oh no, he's available, he's not someone for me. He's always going to protect one of his players and try and protect the value of the player by saying, not for sale, he's priceless, until an offer comes in that the board feel is acceptable.
OK, yeah, all right. But if we take Arteta at his word, he is staying. But defence is a priority for Arsenal. Here's Arteta again.
Well, we are really active in the market. I think I mentioned that a few days ago, and the ambition is to improve the squad. Obviously, we have a really specific issue in the backline, especially with the long-term injury of Willy, and the fact that we miss one more defender. That's clear. So we are trying to reinforce that area, and whenever we're ready, we will announce something.
The left wing position is still a position that we know that Arsenal are trying to upgrade and strengthen in. And it looks like they may go in for Kenan YILDIZ. He's said to be Mikel Arteta's dream signing, and according to the Italian publication Tutto Sport, they claim that Arsenal are ready in an offer of 100 million euros. They're ready to submit that to Juventus to try and get this deal done. That's around about 86 million pounds. Juventus do want to keep him, and I was really interested to see some of the quotes coming from his head coach, Luciano Spalletti. I've got the quotes here. He said, Arsenal are a big club with ambitions, so attention to YILDIZ is understandable, but he's a Juventus player and we focus on the season ahead. He went on to say, if something happens, the club will decide. For now, Kenan must stay focused, work hard, and show his quality. We're happy to have him. Some interesting words in that, where he says, if something happens, the club will decide. I mean, he didn't really have to say that. He could have just said, you know, absolutely no chance, we're not selling him, forget it. But if there's something happens, the club will decide. Obviously, that means if some sort of crazy bid comes in that they can't refuse, then the club's going to decide on what happens with him. How high will Arsenal go to try and get Kenan YILDIZ? Because it's going to be very, very difficult to do. They love him at Juventus. They're building a team around him. But money talks sometimes. And if Arsenal going with some sort of crazy bid, could they get a deal for this done? This one's going to be interesting to watch between now and the end of the summer transfer window. What about Julian Alvarez? Very interesting yesterday. Atletico Madrid played their first game of the season. They beat Malaga by 2-0. Alvarez wasn't playing. We knew that in advance of the game that he wasn't going to play. Diego Simeone